So I'm very extremely comforted that my father knew where he was going when he left. So我很欣慰，我怕了知道他要去哪里。他并不是去一个我们不知道的地方，可是他是去一个完美的宇宙里。他知道耶稣哪里去了。我很欣慰，因为我知道他会被照顾得很好，他会在那里很开心，他不会受苦。所以我也知道的 ，so I know that one day we'll see him again. That he just went ahead of us, and he's gonna be there when we arrive to see him in the future. 所以我也知道我们以后会再见到他。他并没有消失的，我们的生活里面，他还一直存在的。这就是我最欣慰的事情。像耶稣说，我先去我父亲的家，为你准备一个房间，到时候你会到我去的地方。Jesus said, "In my Father's house is many mansions. I go prepare a place for you, so that you may be there where I am also." 所以我们每一个人都要走的，但是我们去哪里呢？我们知不知道我们要去哪里？到时候。有很多事实上我们都不想，我们在脑筋里面并没有想说我们要去哪里。We never think about where are we going after we die. We don't think about things like that.但是有一个亲近的你的人在你离开的时候，你就会想他去哪里呢？他消失吗？他是怎么看不见他了？他能够好吗？还是不好呢？ So we wonder where they went, and wonder, are we going to see them again? 但是因为耶稣说，你可以到我住的地方去。所以我相信我父亲在那里，在天上很好，我很欣慰。So knowing that my Father is in heaven helps me deal with my grief, helps me deal with the loss of such a huge influence in my life. And I know all my brothers and sisters feel the same way. And I thank every one of my brothers and sisters being here this time. It helps share the grief and also celebrate the fact that my Father is in heaven. And every one of them were happy when I told them. The dad said that he went to heaven. 我的兄弟姐妹们，他们都很高兴，知道我父亲是上了天堂。就是知道他在哪里，就很帮助我们了。我很谢谢明英叔、吴晨，你们到来，梁晨，你家人。我知道梁荣不能来，但是他 寄了一束花，我也很感谢他。你可以给我问候，给他讲一声。And I thank you, Terry, to bring your whole family here. That just really. Thank you all so much for being here. Because you guys didn't have to come, but you did. Thank you so much. You're part of the family. I thank you, Sean, for being here. Charlie and Raymond back there, and your wife and the family. I need Yang, Dao Hong. 还有道宏老远的从 San Francisco 也跑来，谢谢你。And you know everyone else, and Pastor John, thank you so much for for being here and guiding the service, and it's made it really more formal and more structured. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone. Appreciate you guys all being here. Thank you so much.
I was speaking James Mandarin. 卢先生、大嫂，我们在座的亲戚朋友，我是在深切的教育。我要说，我大哥许明先生是我心中的英雄。他是一个很有智慧的人，在他读高中的阶段，他就读了很多书，英国别人什么德国的获得什么法国的龙楼呢，印度的泰戈尔。我告诉你，中国的矛盾、岛社，当然也还有像周作人周树人这些先生们。正是他用他的智慧，在我的幼小的心灵里打开了世界文化的窗户，让我知道世界有多大。以后我也知道他的胸怀在这个文化的富裕中间，他的胸怀有多么的宽阔。他确实是一个有智慧的人，他不但有广阔的对人类世界的理念，而且在他专业的学习中间也有很突出的成绩。他在大学的时候，他就发表论文，在他们的学术土木工程的专刊上发表论文。这个一个大学生在当时的学术专刊上发表文章，那是非常轰动的一件事情，对吧？我们都为他非常感到高兴。而且他也表现出他在这个学术领域里面的一些成绩。所以说，他是一个很有智慧的人。我相信他在他未来生活中间，也应该是应用他充分的智慧来对待人生的一切。我想第二点说， 我的大哥许明宇，他是一个有能力的人，他在也就是高中的阶段，他就参加了一些社会的活动。我记得他曾经是一个什么工会的秘书，还会负责去管理一些财务的工作，那时候在中国这种情况还是比较少的，是吧？在他的大学阶段，他更是一个很有领导能力的一个学生，可以说他们要组织什么文艺会啊，什么东西啊，不论是什么学生的什么社团呢，都要请他来支持一下，来带头来呼吁一下，那他的晚会就会显得非常的热闹相反呢，有时候呢，有的社团不是这么的好的，他有时候他也不会去支持，那么就会是一个很冷清的一个活动，是吧？所以他在他青年的时候，年轻的时候就表现了他有能力的这种，可以说是一种天赋后来在台湾，我想他做的应该说是不错的。那个以前的台湾的总统，所谓总统李登辉先生，他讲到，以前李登辉从日本学农业回到台湾，就在他的手下工作，那么他们讲面试一起讨论问题的时候，要找资料就叫李登辉给他查资料。他说李登辉的工作还是很细致的，是吧？是他有力的帮助，当然以后他们自己走自己的路，是吧？他到了利比亚这个很陌生的地方，在那创造出很好的成绩。在那个大沙漠里面，有充足的阳光，有新鲜的空气，但是缺水，溪水如金，没有水，这个人的生活是很困苦的。像我们现在加州要限水大家很恐怖。实际上我们还有很多水喝的，但是在那个沙漠地方水很缺。他去了以后，把这水的问题解决了，人们可以自由的喝到很多的水。当然这一般人不懂了，但他说在当地人对他是很崇拜的，是吧？所以这表现了他的能力一个人在一个陌生的文化环境里边能够做出这样的成绩，没有他的能力得到很多方面社会力量的资助，怎么能够做好这件事情？我认为就是很困难。他是一个很有能力的人。那更重要的，我认为他是对他的朋友，对他的家庭，是一个非常负责任的、有责任心的人对他的朋友，对所有的人都很忠诚他毕业的时候，因为他学习成绩比较好人家给他很多选择，但是当时在旧社会，这个在旧中国的时候，那时候就业很困难了，就是现在有些人在假如说毕业就像失业那么他当时有2个职业的选择，他毅然的把他一个职业选择让给他一个很好的有困难的同学，那就在我们家的附近，而他自己呢就跑了个很远很远的地方，那就是当时我们根本不很熟悉的台湾那时候我们家庭里边很痛苦，因为那个 个地方太遥远。但是我的父亲也感觉到，不要让我的儿子如在生病也好，让他去创造啊。我们离家的时候，那是一个秋天，秋意蒙蒙，是吧？当今我们的青年朋友要到哪儿去太方便，汽车、飞机、火车随便走。但是当年我们要走到什么地方要坐汽车，你们知道汽车是什么？汽车是用煤炭，一个人在摇，让这个煤炭燃烧起来有热气，然后这个热气呢，再让这个气都慢慢走。所以呢，汽车开的时候是一个人站在汽车的旁边，呜呜呜呜呜，但摇那个手摇着吹风，把这个汽车吹燃起来，有气把冲出去。那个驾驶员一脸是黑的，像鬼一样。你想那时候旅行是多么的艰难啊！我们家庭能支持他去，我们家庭勇敢，他愿意接受去，他也有他的勇敢啊，确实。但是我们当时那个早晨，我和我们去送他啊，到其他地方家里很有事情了啊，我很能够感觉到我母亲心情那种凄凉啊，我也是感到很痛，我觉得会很快要离我这么远，以后我不能够再见他了，是吧？我也很痛，但是我们从来没有想到，这一去就是几十年我们不能再见面了，这是我民族的悲痛，这种痛可能很多其他人民不能了解。我希望我们中国人以后也不要再有这种痛了，他去了台湾，他仍然关心我们，经常给我们书信往返，寄他的照片啊。我讲他是很艰苦的，但是他给我们的是他很光明的一面。比如他这个导弹局的女孩照相啊，把这相寄回来，或者在很阳光的地方稍微相片呢，寄回来，让我们感觉到他是很高兴的。但是我父亲知道，他在创业的时候并不是这么容易的。跟我们讲，大国是靠着自己努力啊，他还是有他很辛苦的啊。为什么呢？他到台湾什么地方？台湾的屏东，你们想到30多年前的屏东是什么样子？老台湾人就知道，那时候我们要从家里边做好皮鞋，给他寄到台湾去，那就属于那个时候还没有一个很好的礼仪的装置在台湾，是吧？所以说，他是一个很有能力的人但更重要的就是说，他对朋友、对家庭是无限的忠诚、负责和爱护你想，他派到那个大沙漠去，我想那大沙漠，我现在相信对他健康肯定有影响，肯定有影响。他在台湾事业有成就，在大沙漠有这么深厚的影响，但是最后他选择了美国。他为什么？这他告诉我，他要让他的子女能够得到更好的教育，他做出这样的决定。而到美国 的时候，他遇到了困难，那时候他感觉他自己都非常非常的紧张，会使得他什么地方都去不了了，是吧？哎，那最后，城市的人终究会有解决的办法。最后他到了美国，对吧？所以我说，这都表明了他最重要的人性啊，对人的关怀，对家庭的关心啊。虽然我们海峡两岸割断了，他后来很想办法从香港转信，转到我们大陆，最后香港这个信也断掉了，啊，完全失去联系了。那在共产党这所谓的文革的时候，啊，我们因为就是有一个歌是在台湾的是国民党的，啊，就被迫害，甚至于那些来监督我们的人会对我的母亲说：“你死了心吧，啊，你的儿子早就死掉了。”这是多么残酷！省开一个伟大的母亲的心，但是我的母亲忍着悲痛地说：“好，死掉了好。”这不是说真正的好，而是非常的母亲的悲痛，我们这个家庭在破碎中间，但是相处总是心里面非常的怀念的。所以后来我们中美之间交流了，他很想办法跟我们联系，但是我们那个老的家的地方呢，已经被撤掉了，人都分散了，啊，那这封信呢，投那个老地方根本投不下去，最后呢，因为我们这地方还是多少有点人知道我们啊。然后在邮局里面东拼西拼然后才寄到我们信，让我们收到了这封信。这也就是一个好心的人他终究能够得到很好的报应得到很好的结果。否则，在这么一个大的中国，一封信怎么飘到哪去，人们都不会知道的，都不会知道，是吧？所以我的大哥对人对家庭的关怀，我认为是他最伟大的地方。在我很小的时候，有一次我的父亲病病了以后非常严重，可能也是生命危险了。他就跟我说：“你是老大了你现在差不多18岁了。我过世以后的话，家里经济来源就很少了。你不要再读书了，你要去工作，到邮局做投递员。当时邮局的工作是最稳定的，不会失业的。那么你有稳定的工作的帮助你的弟弟妹妹读书他也就毅然的承诺在他父亲面前承诺，我就要去做邮递员，让我的弟弟3个人都能读上大学。像这样的精神是我永志不忘的。所以我今天在这里悼念我的大哥，我的心情是非常激动。我希望我们在座的人都能像我们大哥这样的茁壮的成长都能在事业上取得成功甚至于能做出更大的成绩。好，谢谢大家。
Thanks, Pastor John, for a great service and sermon. And as Pastor was saying, we come here to not only passing of my uncle. But to celebrate his life. And both cousin Franklin and also my dad said my uncle is our heroes. Actually, my uncle he's a hero of the whole Xu family clan, and also a legend. The funny thing is, growing up, I didn't even know his existence. From when I was at the age of Naira till probably at the age of Michael, I didn't even know his existence due to obvious reasons in China. But I still remember, gosh, sometimes, a couple of times, my grandma, which is my uncle's mother, come to our apartment in Chengdu. A couple of times, gosh, she was talking to my dad, and finally I walked in, and then suddenly they stopped talking. And then when we went back to Guizhou, our family home, at the time we still have a mansion on the hill kind of thing. And so my uncles and my grandma, once in a while they get together, talking about something, and then when I step in, they start talking. So I'm always curious, gosh, for curious me, as the age of Michael, I was thinking, gosh, there got to be secrets. So later on, China opened up, and finally I start to know I have an uncle. And they don't know where he is. Somebody is saying he's in Taiwan, he went to Taiwan. Or somebody is saying he's reporting his site in New York or whatever. It's always a mystery, but as the time I start to learn about my uncle, learn about his legend, as my dad said, he's a great student, top students in his class. Lots of student activities during his study. So from high school, at the time his Japanese Nation, he has been very active, etc., helping. A lot of people knows about him, his help to others. So that's, so I start to gradually get to know him, and finally met him when he first visited China in 1985. So I think for all of those, I'm thinking he's not only the hero of cousin Frank and my dad, he's a hero and also a legend for the whole Xu family. At the same time, he's also my hero. And over here, also in the past couple of weeks, I've been thinking, in my life, I'm almost 50 years old, can't believe it. In my 50 years of life and 30 years professional career, I was counting on the way here and also in the past couple of weeks, I was thinking, probably there was like a handful or 5 other people who really affect me in a very positive way, a great way, affect my life. And Uncle Miyu is one of them, also including my parents give my life, but Uncle Miyu really affects my life in a very positive way. I still remember many things when I first came over here in the States as a young man. I came here when I was like a 21-year-old, and he always called me and counseled me on various subjects. At the time, I left China, guys, sort of leaving home first hand to Seattle and then Denver, kind of thing. Couldn't speak too much English, couldn't understand culture. Right now, I show my kids some of my pictures. During my early days, they couldn't even recognize me, guys. So anyway, I remember only half a year after I landed in America, I had a major crisis. At the time, I had a sort of patent dispute with a top professor at my university. I came here, did research, etc. So I had this patent dispute, gosh, at the time I was so young, and I was always thinking, gosh, what's right, what's wrong. And then I've been talking to at the time, gosh, I got lots of pressure, really stressed out. And one day, my uncle called me. At the time I was really, so that's like only half years after I landed in America. And then really stressed out, and because the professor was a very famous guy, won a couple of major prizes. He was nominated for Nobel Prize, etc. So even folks in China, they couldn't believe that as a young man, I had this patent dispute with this professor. So one weekend, I remember my uncle called me. We talked. He always he counseled me. We talked for like a half hour. He was talking to me about what should be in the academic world, and what it should be in the business world, what it should be in the general society, etc., etc. Really sort of loosening me up, really comforting. As I said, at the time, gosh, even folks back in China, they couldn't believe I had this kind of dispute. And even my former professors. And so at the time, in the end of the conversation, I remember I asked my uncle, the uncle, do you believe me? I made this contribution. Of course, without any hesitation, just milliseconds, he replied. He said, yes, I believe you. So I asked him again, why? And he said, if you didn't make sense, so he said, as for my understanding of the American way of functioning, if you didn't make this discovery, they were not going to put you on the newspaper front page only 3 months after you landed in America. Oh, I was thinking, gosh, Uncle is a smart guy. That's many, many years ago. And then I remember years later, and then I graduated and went on to high tech. And years later, I had another crisis. It's a different one. So I worked for Intel for like almost 9 years. Went through the last 486, Pentium 2, etc. All the high tech stuff. And then I got an opportunity to study in MBA. And then I hesitated, for those kind of choices. And then I think school starts in late August. So 1 week before I start the school, I still hesitating. I was thinking, God, should I go? And should I change a career or whatever, those kind of thinking. So of course, I called my dad and my uncle for counseling again. So he.
I'm calling.
Chad's got it. Well, who got it? Chad's calling. Rosie said. She got it? You got the phone?
No, I'm not aware that she has anything like that.
Your cousin, is that son of?
No.